Hello, and welcome to another edition of our Copyright Expert Insights podcast. And I have with me today Steve Henderson from he's a principal in our San Diego office. Welcome, Steve.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here with you today, Steve.
Well, it's great to have you. We're going to talk about the industrial synopsis that you've just written, and people can refer to our website to read the full report. But let me ask you, traditionally, industrials have turned in quite a strong performance for investors. But in this Q1 article, I sense you have some concerns, perhaps short term concerns. Can you explain those?
Yeah, definitely. So, the high cost of capital is really taking its toll right now on commercial real estate, especially, or not exclusive of industrial. So, values have continued to come down because of the higher yield requirements that investors are requiring. And also, the higher interest rates are affecting tenants and consumers and making it more difficult to do business. So that's having a negative effect on landlords being able to push up market rents and seeing much lower market rent growth.
Sure. Well, you also mentioned some additional supply, and you don't use the word oversupply, but tell us what the supply side of the market looks like.
Yeah, so when cost of capital was low and demand was very high for industrial space, there was a lot of new construction starts that began. And as those new construction starts have reached completion and hit the market, but yet demand has softened a little bit, it's put the market out of balance a little bit. Where in the near term, it's going to cause a few problems because of higher vacancy, and it's just going to make it more difficult to push up market rents in the near term.
Yeah, sure. And one other thing you mentioned I was curious about the ports traffic. You said there were some external factors affecting the industrials at port sites.
Yeah, so the ports are a very important part of the supply chain. In 2023, there were some problems with the West Coast ports because of the union labor disputes that were happening there, but they're able to work through those. And so I think as we move through 2024, the West Coast should start to see a little bit more traffic and should pick up a little bit of market share. However, on the East Coast, there are some near term problems because they're now entering their own set of labor disputes that they're going to have to work through. There's a couple problems worth mentioning as well with canals, the Suez Canal near Egypt, near the Red Sea, with political problems, political instability that's happening there, and the Panama Canal as well, that has had some low water levels recently. So those are all causing some issues for the ports.
Yeah, sure. We're part of a global economy. We have to accept what it throws out. Well, lastly, let me ask you about the outlook for the future. It seems to me that many of the storm clouds are not actually storms, but passing squalls. Um, would you say we can resolve most of these short term problems, and how strong is the outlook for the future?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to explain it as short term squalls. I think these problems that I've been mentioning are definitely short term. The long term outlook for the industrial sector is very strong, very promising. As we move through 2024 and maybe into the beginning of 2025, I think the market imbalance that we're seeing with supply and demand will work itself out. And no question that the long term outlook for industrial is very strong.
Well, that sounds optimistic. Thanks for coming in today to give us your insights, and we'll perhaps talk to you again to see how the predictions unfold. Thanks, Steve.
Okay, that sounds great. Thanks so much for having me on today.